What's up, everybody? This is Marcus, your MTT coach of the Academy of Poker, with another hand review for the day. As always, make sure before you continue to leave a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and just follow all our social media in general to not miss out on any updates from us. Hi guys, my name is Marcus. I'm an MTT coach of the Academy of Poker, and we have a great offer for you. Our current Academy of Poker course will only cost you 200 euros, but if you do it the right way, you can even get it for free. All you have to do is hit the link in the description below, get in contact with our managers, and you can start right away. And now, enjoy the upcoming video. This time I choose to go for a 6-max table. I think it was one of the summer series events, if I'm not mistaken. So 6-max, 3 players less, and in general the ranges will be wider, and there's in general just more action involved. I think this was an $11 version, and we start with a6 in spades here. Pretty standard, sit in the hijack. So we open this on a 9-max table as well. And just a second, guys. There we go. Just cut that out. Open a6, pretty standard. As you see, we're all around 70 big blinds deep. And we face a min 3-bet. This is always kind of weird. Could be a misclick. Could be a really weird strategy. Some people do that really, really wide. Some people, most likely when we are not that deep anymore, so when everybody is shorter, go for those kinds of 3-bets when they're really strong. However, this time he's the effective stack with like 55 big blinds, so it's kind of weird. I still went for like a normal 3-bet range for him. As you see, this would be versus a cutoff, versus an hijack open in the cutoff, and those, like normally, like those smaller ace-x will be chosen to a 3-bet for sometimes for just for bluffing reasons. Sorry, and the better ones obviously for value here. And then, as you see, some of the less, like 10-9 suited is such a nice equity that we flat this most likely, and some of the weaker suited connectors we 3-bet here. So fairly wide range, but because this guy was kind of interesting to play with at that point. At that point I didn't know, like this was just with 9 hands in, but I played with him quite a bit more, and weird style of playing for sure. So I thought I was thinking giving him a pretty big range given the hands I've seen before that. However, we don't really change our opening range too much. We just would put in those hands as 4-bets here. Most likely, maybe some of the weaker ace-x's suited for 4-bet bluffs. But in general, we flat a lot, so our opening range is pretty much also our calling range. As you see, just our really value-heavy hands are changing a little bit. But we also get just an amazing price. Everybody folds, as you see, almost 7-1 on the call here. A6 suited is definitely good enough, has enough equity to play here. And we see a flop of Queen 8-5. In general, we don't do anything else but checking, so I went for just the checking option, and he actually checks back. The interesting thing is, as you see here, there's this, what a mixed strategy this is. If you see the flop, of course, he's betting pretty much all his Queen X here, as you can see. Some of the King Queen would be checked, actually like in a third of the time, which is interesting. Queens at least like a fifth of the time, and as you see with Ace Queen, not a lot, because also we have King Queen more often, or like weaker Queen X, and I think with the King Queen he's blocking some more possible backdoors that we may have, so therefore more checking back over here. And in general, as you see, it's like really, really evenly distributed. If we take a look at hands where he did hit, he does continue most likely for like half the pot with middle pair hands. With bottom pair, he's checking it back most likely almost half of the time here throughout all three. And as you see, like pretty much every decision he's making is fine. If we think about stuff like ace king, as you see, same over here, ace king off, almost most of the time, half of the time we would check this. If he has a diamond in his hand, as you see, he should more likely bet over here. But other than that, not really. Let's see, continue. Even with ace king of diamonds, he checks most likely. Here with the backdoors, a bet would be a bit better, but still, as you see, checking. Actually, he checks back most of the range. As you see, 27%. It's close between checking and betting half the pot. But in general, kind of interesting. So he decides to check back, and yeah, we see a turn card. The turn card is the 9 of spades. So now I have a gut shot here, and yeah, in this case I was interested to see whether I should bet those kinds of hands after he checks back, because if he has like an overpair or a top set, for example, I don't expect him to check back that much because of the diamonds in play, and definitely I have also a lot of suited connectors here, so like 6-7, 8-7, 9-8, all those kinds of things. And with middle pair, I'm not folding to one bet for sure. So yeah, the interesting thing here was to see if I should start betting some hands, and as you see here, it pretty much only suggests to bet the ace-6 of diamonds, gutshot plus flush draw. But other than that, we should bet here. As you see, we pick up some equity with those kinds of hands that we could still continue. So as you see, even with not having the flush draw, we should start betting the gut shots here, giving some equity. And as said, because he checks back, he might have stuff like ace king or so that we could definitely get rid of over two streets. Other than that, if we think about hands that we're bluffing, as you see, not that much here. We start betting over here with not that much equity. Of course, the diamonds again, the nut flush draws are all pretty clear to bet. But as you see, overall, 4 out of 10 times we check a whole our range, so we don't have that many. Even top pairs we check to a certain extent still, as you see, around 20 to 25% here. So pretty interesting. Yeah, I went for the check, and now it is his turn. And as you see, I mean, might not look too interesting, but even it's still a 3-bet pot, and therefore pretty interesting. That also simple post flop suggests here, as you see, to really slow down is again 62% of his range should be checking. The only thing where it's always a bet is if he has aces over here. But as you see with the rest, even like queens and king queen starts checking a lot here again. Interestingly enough. And we also just bet queen jack suited. That's like the rest. And you see with the rest, again, a lot of checking here, which doesn't also narrows down the range for him even more. So as you see here as well, I still have like a really wide range here. I still have the whole range, but with him, his range is going down a lot, which is a good thing for us actually, because we can narrow it down quite a lot. And yeah, as you see, we get the turn here. And I river the straight. Diamonds get there as well. But let's see. And here again, I found it interesting to see what kinds of hands we should bet. And as you see, even with the rivered straight, we should check here, most likely. And as you see, it's like 50-50. Here it's 50-50. Because with a heart, it's a little bit more unlikely that the opponent might have the backdoor flush draw on the flop here. So, and with like the spades and with the spades and clubs, we don't block any of the possible hearts that had backdoor flush draws that might turn the hand into a bluff here. So therefore, we should check a lot. And yeah, I was interested to see if I should be checking this, or if I like with my exact hand, or if I should be betting here to, because if he checks twice, it's really going down towards ace king, ace jack type of hand, because he would be betting like tens or jacks on the turn latest. I would say 6s, 7s, same, and of course 8s and 9s on the turn as well. So it was really down to, he could have, like I said, ace 10 suited, ace jack, ace king, and that's pretty much it. Everything else he would bet. And same goes for like, I mean, he's not 3-betting deuces, 3s, 4s, so that doesn't make sense. So there's actually not that many combinations. And if we think about the suited hands, it's actually just 3 combinations of ace king, 3 combinations of ace jack suited, plus 3 of ace 10 suited, And then we have some of the combinations for ace king off, obviously. But yeah, I decided again here to check, hoping that maybe if the opponent has like the king or the ace of diamonds, for example, that he decides to go for at least somewhat a bluff, because I don't see anything that calls me here. Maybe if I go like 1 or 2 big blinds, I would get a call from ace king high in some sort, but not even that too often. And then just like an annoyed call, like, oh, I never get there with ace king or something like that. So I was hoping that he tries to turn this into a bluff. And let's actually see what kinds of hands, according to GTO, he should be betting. If we think about SEC, the ace king off hand here, where you see it's still 3, 6, also 9 combinations without the ace of spades in here. And as you see, it's just 100% of the time a check. Same goes for those hands, of course, not with ace king of diamonds, because that's the nuts. And other possible hands, for example, a set of 9s, even though it would bet the turn pretty much always. So it's really hard to find any bluffs here. As you see, all those hands I was just talking about, just give it up. There's just ace 10, where according to GTO, a bluff could be working, because with the 10, like on the turn, he has the gut shot already, so he blocks the straight. Same with the jack, but the 10 has actually, like, is a bit more key here, because yeah, it works a bit in a better way than the ace jack over here. So as you see, we could get a bet from this one. Even ace 9 would be betting here of some sort, which is kind of nice. But as you see, some hands where we could expect to get something, and if I bet out the river, I probably will not get called from any of these. And as you see, like with hands like queens, jacks, 10s, 9s, they would all start betting on the turn latest. Same goes for 9-8. I think 9-8, 8-7 would even like definitely see bet the flop, because it's actually one of the better flops for them, in my opinion. And yeah, as you see, also like king jack off, ace 10 off, those kinds of hands would be bluffing, and of course they do not ever call a river bet there. So I think, and as you see, GTO approves that. I like the way I played this. Unfortunately, he checked it back over here, so I didn't get anything. And he actually showed up with ace king, and I'm kind of surprised in this case. He has the king of diamonds here, even though as you see it's 100% check back. But I would be expecting some of those to bet. But probably, if we take a look here, if we see the ace king, let's look at this exact hand over here. Yeah, it's still 50% of the time he should be checking, and it doesn't really change with all the other ones. Yeah, so he probably like should have started on the turn to bet, like that, checking back the flop here with the nut flush draw with the king of diamonds. Probably should have continued here already. Let's see. Yeah, here for example as well, GTO definitely favors. I mean, not by a lot, as you see, it's really, really close over here, but in general, it favors to bet here. I mean, we could just narrow it down here with the different betting sizes a little bit, and then it would lead more towards betting, because as you see, it checks a fourth of the time and bets three out of 4 times. So it is leaning more towards betting here for sure, just the sizings are so different. So I could narrow it down to just check or bet, like let's say half the pot, and then we would definitely have bigger numbers here. And as you see, in general, the yellow one, which is the checking, is in the smaller part here. It's just about the sizing that is so different here, because with all the different combinations you can have here, it is not so clear which kind of sizings you should go for. But yeah, so in this case, I mean, the thing is, if he c-bets, I just fold. So I won my 4.5 big blinds here because he made a mistake, which is of course always nice for me. But I'm just folding the flop if he c-bets. And just so that you know, like those kinds of hands, you have backdoor equity. And if you just min 3 bets, the range in my hand here, my range is so wide that you can just, or you should in those cases, such boards, especially if you have like king or the ace of diamonds, c-bet here is absolutely key. You will still get calls, let's say, from like 6s, 4s, maybe 3s, even deuces, 7s, like king jack, even maybe king jack in hearts, for example, or jack 10, of course, even though it gets here on the turn, or 10-9, 9-8, jack 9, all those kinds of things. But if you, with your hand, at least you you have for example, the blockers, as I said. On the river, the diamonds get there if you bet 3 times. With a hand like Jack 9, it's really hard for him to continue here. But because you 3-bet so small here, this range is just amazingly wide. And in general, let's say if we think about a flatting range here in general, or 3-bet calling range, the ranges will be just way different. So as you see, let's go for 50 big blinds, and you see hijack. Let's say the hijack here for the middle position, I just flat 12%, and here versus a 3-bet, I still have a 24% range almost, just because of the small sizing. And yeah, therefore, so definitely here the takeaway is that I played my hand correctly, and he should have c-bet the flop, because then he just wins it. And even though I think this is a hand where he can definitely continue for 3 streets because of the range advantage you still have because of the 3-bet, but definitely bigger sizing pre-flop and continue on those boards. Because I don't continue with much here. I continue with queens, with queen X, and with diamond draws, maybe with backdoor hearts, and gut shots for 1 street. But also, again, because you make it so cheap pre-flop, it's hard to bet a lot that gets me out of the way. Like, even if he bets like 5 big blinds on the flop, I have quite enough equity here for sure to continue, and the implied equity or the implied pot odds, if I hit, are pretty big versus those hands. So yeah, that's the takeaway for today's hand. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or any critiques. Let me know. As always, guys, now, good luck at the tables if you're playing today. If not, enjoy the day. And yeah, we'll see each other in the next video. Bye.